Hi everybody, welcome on in. Crystal here, also known as Skuldsbane all over the internet, and I'm here to welcome you to my little channel about pretty much anything and everything I want to talk about. Today is a floss tube day, so I'm going to be talking a lot about cross stitch, excuse me, and related subjects. It's going to be a short one today. I only managed to work on 6 projects because of life, which I'll talk about at the end. It's nothing terrible or anything. Yay! But for reasons I didn't really get to work on a lot of projects. If this is your first time here, hi, welcome in. I'm glad you came. Glad you clicked play. If you're coming back, hi, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you came in. I'm glad you clicked play. Let's see, I have no idea what number floss tube this is because I am no longer on ADD meds. And I ran out of my prescription, and without insurance currently I can't get any more. So my brain everywhere. It's an interesting change back to where I was a year ago. It's an adjustment, but I'm making it through. It's the last floss tube that I did. I was joking about and picking on Laura Stitching by the Shore about the bringing in sense and logic, and if you want to finish right by the end of the year, to work on smalls, which I didn't at all. However, I was able to get one finish in. That's the first thing I'm going to show you because I worked monogamous stitching for 3 days to get it done, but I got it done. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my one finish that I got. I finished it on the 31st, so it was before the end of the year. It counts. And I finished the female of the species. Boom! Look at her, isn't she gorgeous? This is the female of the species by Misanthropic Stitch on Etsy. Links will be for pretty much everything. It's going to be in the description box below. But this is by Misanthropic Stitch. The fabric is a 14 count Aida. It's called Unicorn Poop. And she's done. The lettering looks black, but it's actually a variegated purple. Can you even see that? Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's not coming through really well, but it is a variegated purple and blue. When you get close up like that, you can tell next to the hair that it's not 310. It's not black, but this is all DMC and Anchor. It was not a quick stitch, but it was very blocky, so it was, with the exception of the areas in the hair here and through the ear and down here was a little less blocky, but this was all just giant chunks of I think there's 5 colors, 6 colors in it. Really simple actually for what it is, and just lovely. But I got it done. This is my very last 2024 finish. Welcome to 2025, by the way. Proud of myself. I did it. I got one. Yes, that's my one finish. I only have 5 other projects that I worked on. 2 of them were new starts. Those are the last 2 that I'm going to show you, and it's because I'm sure you've noticed there's a bandage there. I'm mostly fine. I've got a burn. It makes it a little more difficult to stitch, so I haven't worked on very many. Let's see this. Because people have commented on other videos that they like seeing the bags as well. This is one of the bags that I made. It's just a really simple quilted project bag, and I just used a fat quarter bundle from, I think it was Joann's is where I picked it up. And inside this I have Lady of Mystery. This is a pattern. This is what she looks like. Let me get it up there so you can see, cover my face. There's the focus. Good job. I am using all of the called for flosses. I have the bead pack. I am not using the called for fabric. It is the same. Having problems, man. It's the same fabric count, but not the fabric itself. Instead, I'm using the green is actually showing up when I hold it back here today. This is the lime green, and that's actually pretty accurate on my screen. That's pretty accurate color. So this is the lime green fabric that I'm using. Keep telling y'all it's a lime green, I promise. But this was part of a mystery pack or from Forbidden Fiber Co. And it's a nice, lovely green linen. And this is where she is. I was able to join the Magazine Monthly Facebook group, and Bringo is going on right now, so I've been participating in Bringo. Most of the prompts that I've done have been on one of my new starts. I sat down one day and just did nothing but I set a timer for an hour, and I stitched for an hour, and then I got up and like started a load of laundry, and then I would stitch for an hour on something else. And you know, because one of the ways to do Bringo is the project number is called, the prompt number is called, and it's either 100 stitches or 1 hour of stitching. And I was doing 1 hour stitching because I'm not gonna sit and count 100 stitches. It's not happening. But what I did, let's see, I believe I added a little bit more down here since the last time you saw it. And I was able to go up and start adding in, that is the top of her head right there, and some of her hair. So that is where she is at. Something just fell, and I don't know what it was. Was it the needle? Yeah. Cool. I just lost my needle. It's on top of my desk somewhere. I will find it. Shoot. I'll find it. Just not right this instant. But that's where she is. And this was... I'll show you my Bringo board when I get down to it. It's here. It exists. I'm annoyed by that needle. There it is. Found you. I don't even remember what the prompt was. I think the prompt was something with flowers. But because she's got roses all around the edges, hey, that works. Actually, let me find that and pull it out. Maybe not. There you are. I apologize. It's like I said, I'm off of meds. So that was, yes, something with flowers. This is my Bringo board. I have not written down the last, I think, 2 days. It is the 10th, 1, 3, 4, yeah, the last 2 days. So there's 2 more prompts that should be going on here. I'm going to be working on them later this afternoon to see if I can get caught up. There's 2 on here that... The favorite designer, I don't have a favorite designer. And something that represents growth. I haven't gotten that far yet, but that's where my Bringo board is at. It's a little bit of everywhere. And this was Lady of Mystery was pulled, the prompt was pulled on January 5th, and it was something with flowers. Let's see, January 8th, Bundle Up. I'm going to be working on one of the stockings for that. I have no idea what was called for the 9th or today the 10th. So, that's right. Okay. Just like, wait a minute. Okay. Next thing I worked on, or another thing I worked on, this was the January 6th prompt, was something with a bird. So I decided to work on Erica Michaels' Be Like a Crow because it's such a cute pattern. I'm really enjoying working on it. so why wouldn't I? Ta-da! Be like a crow. And I'm working on the main one in the frame there. Oh, come on. Focus. It says, be like a crow, collect shiny things, hop happily down the street for no apparent reason, scream loudly when you see your friends. Very good advice. Words to live by. And I got when I ordered the pattern, I'd been looking for the pattern for a hot minute, and I found it on 123 Stitch. And you know, when you put things in your cart in 123 Stitch, if you put a pattern in your cart, it gives you the option to just add everything needed for the project. So I'm using the called for everything. Get back in there. Floss. Except for actually the black that I'm using. When I got up to this area here, and you can't even really see the difference, I ran out of the mascara because I didn't read the instructions before starting the project. I just started the project. Because why read the instructions when you know how to cross stitch? You know, what could go wrong? Well, one thing that could go wrong is you run out of the color that was called for, and the local needle shop doesn't have any in stock. So I substituted out the mascara, which was used for everything down at the bottom, and it was literally up to somewhere about like the eye in the Be Like a Crow line. I did start at the bottom, and I did run out, and I had to substitute in, I'm using Gentle Art Black Crow. It has a little bit more blue tint to it, but you can't really, unless you really get up on it, you can't tell at all. But all of the work on this one was actually done in the crow up here itself. There's a couple of miscounted things in it, but I'm perfectly okay with it. It looks like a crow to me. So that is where this one is at. And then there's plenty enough fabric to be able to do like the strawberry and all of the smalls as well. So that's also going to be in the works. Number one, because I will use the strawberry as a pin cushion. And number two, if I can get some emery shavings, I'll make an emery strawberry. And number two, because I want to. But that's where this one is at. And again, that was on the Bringo card. That was for January 6th. Be Like a Crow. Verb. And one of the other ones I worked on, and this is in another bag that I made. Again, just out of a fat quarter pack. And all of these are, the fabric parts are quilted. This one does have a vinyl front. Vinyl, obviously, I'm not going to quilt. For obvious reasons, but all of the fabric, it is quilted. In this one, the prompt was something that reminds you of a family picnic. So I pulled out Dark Forest for this one and put in an hour's worth of work. And this is where she is at. I don't even remember where I put in the work. I think I did quite a bit over here. I know I did put in some black in this area, but I don't remember what else I did. But it was an 412 stitches. I put in 412 stitches on this one. I forgot to start the timer, so I just sat and stitched until I was done stitching on it. This has got a lot more to go. I'm actually going to have to finagle. I'm not restarting it because I'm not. I probably should, but I'm not. The fabric itself is actually not long enough, so I'm going to have to finagle and attach a second piece of fabric to the bottom, which I can do. This is for my own personal use. It's going to be hanging in my house. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be awesome. I may make it into a throw pillow or something. You know, it's I would like for it to be perfect, but it's not, and that's okay. This is being done with all of the called for DMCs on an easy count. I believe this is, I believe this is an 18 count. Looks like an 18 count. I don't have my book with all the information that I normally have sitting on the desk, so I can't give you any of the normal information because, you know, that's not how things are working right now, and that's okay. That's okay. That's what that one is. Let's see what else we've got. Okay. And then I have two other ones. Like I said, I don't have many projects that I've been working on. The next two are my two new starts. The first one is the Sally Kratos sampler. And I'm doing that because I know stitch-alongs and start-alongs are harder to keep up with and harder to do, and a lot of people are just not doing very many this year because it's easy to get caught up in a couple hundred of them at a time. So easy to get drawn in. But I started one on January 4th. That is my birthday. I turned 40-something, closer to 50 than 40. It's fine. I won't tell if you don't. Numbers are a lie. But I did start the Sally Kratos sampler. Did I print out the picture of it? Meh. Did I? No, of course not. Why would I print the actual picture? Anyway, the Sally Kratos sampler. And I'm doing a start along, not a stitch along, because I'm not going to tell you what to stitch and when. It is the spawning Sal, because I wasn't birthed, I spawned. And the whole idea is I would like to be able to get into a house, so this is good vibes. Help me build a house. Put the good vibes, thoughts and prayers out into the universe to help me get out of the apartment. These are the colors I'm using. I apologize for the glare. They are all silks. They are a Ver A Soie silks, 103s. And this is a huge conversion. I do have the picture that I'm going to put up. The picture of the project, you can see that everything is all faded and just not, you can tell that there was a lot of color when it was first done. I don't see anything wrong with the faded colors, and on a lot of samplers they're just absolutely gorgeous, but I also like the very bright colors that would have been closer to the original when it was created. So I went ahead and converted everything to what I thought would be a good approximation of the colors, and this is what I've got. There are two of this cream color and two of the red, and I don't remember why I bought two of the red, but I think I had another project in mind. I don't remember. And then the linen that I'm using is one that I picked up off of a D-Stash group, and all the information about that is going to be down below as well as the hashtag. Even though hashtags don't work on Instagram anymore, they do still work on YouTube, and if you actually do a search for the hashtag on YouTube, it'll bring up the results of with a bunch of videos that have that hashtag. Okay, and this is where I have gotten so far. Ooh. And this is the hole, and it's not going to be that tall. It is not going to be that tall. I did leave plenty of extra around the edges just because it will take up, with the extra border extra around the edges, it will take up this entire piece of fabric. But again, I'm saying it's not that tall because that's like a 4.5 inch border that I left. And this is the lighter brown that I got to start with. You can see I've got the A, B, C, and the full width of the pattern. I did not get very far on this, and that's okay. I need to ask a little grace of myself, and I need to accept grace for myself for the past couple of weeks and probably for the next couple of weeks. I started this when I was running really high fever. We had one relative come in from out of town over the holidays, and she brought a really bad cold from the airport. And the day that I started running the fever was the day that the start along started. And as a host, I'm not going to skip the start along day. No. So that's what I got there. And then the last one that I have been working on is the big one. I have talked a little bit in previous videos about some of the goals that I have for this year. One of the main goals is to get all 5 Christmas stockings done to be able to use for the holidays this year. And then another one of the goals is I've never done the Heaven and Earth Designs stitch along, so I decided to do it this year. And I'm doing Hieronymus Bosch, the Garden of Earthly Delights. So the Intimidating Project prompt and the Stitcher's Choice prompt that were both called for Bringo, both of those I was working on the Sal. This is the first time I've ever worked on 25 count fabric. 2 over 1. It's the first time I've ever worked in 10 stitch. It's the first time I've tried parking, and it's the first time that I've ever worked in diagonals. It took 3 or 4 days to get used to any of it at all. I would be completely lost without Pattern Keeper. Thank you to the inventors of Pattern Keeper. You're amazing, completely amazing. However, I've been keeping at it. This is where she is. Tiny stitches. My back is as ugly as backs can be because I'm just carrying threads everywhere and there's confetti everywhere, and I don't care. This is an experiment. It's not a chart that I would have normally picked up. And there were a couple of other ones that I was looking at for the stitch along, but they were AI generated art. I am a person that believes that AI has its place. There are a lot of good uses for AI. A lot of things like medical testing and stuff, things going wrong with the human body and diagnostics with computers and things, that can be helped with AI. And it has literally saved lives because of that. Creating art and using AI generated art is something I do not like, because I've known way too many artists and way too many authors that have completely lost their income and have had to turn to other sources of income because AI has taken basically what they do away. And Bosch is not AI. Bosch lived, a couple of centuries ago, was a really weird dude, an amazing, really weird dude. But a really weird dude, I mean, who else would put a naked dude crawling down an arch in a painting? But I've actually been really enjoying working on this, so that's been great. Proud of myself on this one. And those are the 5 projects that I've stitched on. I did talk a little bit in my last flosstube video that I did about trying to create a couple of charts. There is currently one up in my Etsy shop just because I got out my tablet and was doodling. It's called The Great White Hunter, and it is a big white floofy cat going after the terrible, terrible, awful, horrible red dot, because you know, somebody's got to hunt that red dot. I do not have it stitched. There is no, the only thing that's up there right now is the sketch, and I don't even have a color chart up yet. I put it up there for I think it's $1. I have 3 or 4 people working on the test stitch for me, just to get a couple of examples and to be able to get some actual photos of what the finished product will look like once it's completed. Once that is up, once I get some of those photos up, and once I get the color chart uploaded, and I get the cover page, and then the price will go up a little bit, not much. Again, it's I think 1, 2, 3, 4 colors, 5 colors. There's a red, a pink, a green, and then black and white. That's it. Because you have the red dot, you have pink little toe beans, green eyes, and then the outline of the cat is black, and it's just one big block of white fur. Super simple. Something like 4,500 stitches, something like that. But this is, I'm having people go through and they're test stitching. They said that it prints out really easily, it downloads perfectly. I tested putting it into Pattern Keeper to make sure that it goes into Pattern Keeper well, and you can easily select the colors and go through all of that. So if anybody's interested in that, I'm going to go ahead and link my Etsy shop as well. I'm going to keep working on a few more, see if I can get just a small, very small library. I'm just getting started. I don't expect any big return at all. This is not, this is never going to be a major source of income unless somebody has an awful lot more faith in me than I do. But that is something that is up now. And that's it as far as cross stitch goes, honestly. I just haven't been able to work on a whole lot for various reasons. I've been able to actually do more on my sewing machine. So the other large project that I have for this year, or extended project that I have for this year, is to create an entire wardrobe for myself. And it's a capsule wardrobe from about 1900-ish. And because I can't do the stitching in hand like I normally do with cross stitch, but I can use my sewing machine, I have another combination suit. So I'm working on from the inside out, from the underwear out. So I've got another combination suit. If you can hear the washer, it's right behind this wall. That's actually in the washer right now, getting cleaned. I've not been able to put any buttons or buttonholes. I can't do any of the hook and eyes, anything like that. So it's not completely finished, but that'll come when this heals up. I'll talk about that in a minute. I have the pattern completed, the pattern drafted and completed for corset covers. So I've got a couple of those cut out that I can get through the machine, and putting those through the machine takes a couple hours tops, and then you add the fasteners, hook and eyes. Normally hook and eyes for corset covers, sometimes very small buttons, which I've got my drawer of buttons to go through. I also have other buttons that are already separated out that are not, I contacted a seller that specializes in like gathering old buttons off of old clothing and cleaning them up and reselling them. And I asked how much she would charge for a small flat rate box, USPS flat rate box, to be sent. Just fill it up as much as you can, as many pounds buttons as you can put in there. Don't bother cleaning it up. I actually enjoy doing that. Just send me a box. And she's like, never had that request, let's do it. And that's how I ended up with that. And that's not all of them. I've used quite a few of them. So, but the corset covers are going to be coming along. I have 3 or 4 shirts that are almost complete that are down to needing all of the handwork done, which is difficult for me to do right now. So a lot of work has been done there. Let's see what else. Excuse me as I slurp tea. Oh, it's been nice and cool. That's the thing. My windows are open. I've been sleeping with the windows open. I actually had to get out a down comforter. It was great. I'm not wearing socks today, but I've been wearing socks almost every day for about a week. Put a sweater on yesterday because the t-shirt wasn't quite warm enough. First time I've worn a sweater in I think 2 years. I don't think I wore one last year at all. It's been great. I have been absolutely thriving. But that also led to this. The first couple of days that it got really chilly and cooled down and the cold front came through, I decided that it would be a great and wonderful idea to make some chili rojo con carne. And I went in, and because you have to stir it every once in a while if you're making it stovetop, because you don't necessarily have to in a crock pot, but if you're making it stovetop, you have to go in once every about an hour or so and just kind of stir it so it doesn't stick to the bottom. And I was stirring it, and it went blurp. And I've got this nice, yay size burn that just, it's not a 3rd degree, it's a pretty severe 2nd degree burn. It was bad enough that the blister didn't just blister it, but it immediately popped off. Yeah. So there's been a lot of antibiotic ointment and gauze pads in my last week and a bit. Which is why I haven't been able to do a whole lot of stitching. Actually, that's the main reason. So it's still, I'm having to change dressings on it once a day just to keep it clean and keep it from getting crusty and infected. But it's okay. It's coming along. It's not bleeding every time I change the bandage anymore, so that's a good start. Again, and the head cold, that's the thing that I'm one of those people that I get sick like a toddler. If you've ever raised children, you know what I'm talking about. Where either the toddler is the first one to bring it home and the last one to get healthy, or the last one to catch whatever's going around and the first one to recover. I'm usually the last one to catch and the first one to recover. The man thing has had this cold for like 2 weeks and is still hacking and sneezing and coughing up and everything else. It took me like 2 days. I had 1 day of really bad fever and I just had no brain, couldn't breathe. I had 1 day of I'm just staying in bed, I'm taking a single dose of Mucinex to clear it all out, and then the 3rd day I was up and running. Well, up and waddling. I don't run. I physically can't run. It's fine. And then the 4th day I actually went and had a job interview, and I went to the job interview. Did not get the job, but that's okay. I got feedback after the interview, and they're like, "No, you interviewed really well. It was a really hard decision, but there was somebody that had more experience." It happens. So that happened, and this happened, and let's see what else has been going on. It's been nice and chilly. Right now is about the time to start pepper seeds indoors, and then transfer them outside here in middle of February, end of February. Excuse me. So I've got some pepper seeds going. I did the thing where you put them on a damp paper towel and stick it inside a plastic bag. So those are going. I've got 6 or 7 of them off of peppers that I kept, because you can harvest the seeds yourself when you cut open a pepper. if it's ripe enough, and replant them. And I've got, like I said, 4 or 5 of them going that have got little roots started. They don't have any green showing out of them yet, so it's not anything that I can really show you. But that's going. It's also about the time to start throwing out wildflower seeds, and because there's this huge, just nothing but dirt in front of the apartment building from all of the construction, I went ahead and threw out some wildflower seeds that are native to the area. I put a little video up on Instagram because one of the people in the apartment building at, midnight one night, it decided it would be a great and fun and wise and wonderful thing to burn a bunch of papers inside a cardboard box inside the apartment. So the alarms went off, and because the alarms in the building are not the most reliable, get up and go outside, and is there actually smoke anywhere? Do we need to worry about it? Do I actually have to put on shoes? Yes, actually had to put on shoes and go stand outside. And the sprinkler system was going off in their apartment. We're fine. Everything in this apartment is perfectly fine. It was more annoying than anything because I was comfortable and didn't want to get up. It ended up going outside, and there were like four fire trucks that came through. That was exciting. That was great. I don't think that person's going to be burning anything inside for a while again. Oh, let's see what else is going on. No, that's pretty much it. I'm still going with the job search, and that's my life. That's it. That's what's going on. Thank you so much for joining me, all. I do appreciate each and every one of you. I will have another floss tube in 2 weeks. I'm trying to kick my own hind end back into the habit of uploading something else on the off weeks. I actually did try to take some video of using the sewing machine, but the stand that I have for my phone to help record, it's one of those that's got like the little wire, and the wire is starting to fail, so it's not holding the phone correctly, so I'm gonna have to get another tripod and work from there. But I'm working on it. All else fails, I'll keep going hiking and getting some little short. Maybe I'll run into another armadillo. Maybe it'll be a squirrel. Maybe it'll be, I don't know. Who knows? Here in another month or two, we should be getting, the gators should be hatching, so I might be able to get some footage of mama gators grunting at their babies. Who knows? But that's in theory, that's coming. Anyway, thank you all very much for staying along for this little journey. I hope y'all are doing well. And I'll see you next time. Bye.